said haunting.
Haunting?
Haunting, beautiful.
It's not haunting.
Haunting and
I
beautiful.
love that song.
I do too. It's haunting and beautiful. Haunting and beautiful music. Joe Reichel is in the studio. He's here to answer your questions about your projects, maybe even to have him come over and do it for you if you can't do it yourself. The number to call if you'd like to speak to Joe right now is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-9622. Joe Reichel, of course, is one of the owners of Damage Control Services. Disaster restoration is your specialty. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. Caught me in mid-sip.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Well, my lid was closed when I tried to drink earlier. So, yes, we do disaster restoration: fires, floods, storm, tree damage, cars in homes, lightning strikes. Let's see what else we've done. Mold.
Did you get a call from a lady who
odors?
Whose husband? I don't want to say too much because I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. But she said her husband fixed some damage and she wasn't happy with it. Did you get that call?
Not that I know of.
Last week.
She may have called the office number. Okay. I mean, if somebody gave her the office number, she could have called there. And Rob's answering that number now. It's forwarded to him. So
okay. So without embarrassing anybody or saying something I shouldn't say, it sounded like a tree fell into the side of their house, and the husband said he could fix that, no problem. You don't need a professional. It's not that big of a deal. But she says it still has wind coming through it.
That's not so good.
Yeah. So I was thinking, if there's wind, that must mean water too.
Wind, if wind can get through, water can get through. So that's
she
not
can feel
so
it
good.
coming through. So I don't know.
He might have forgot to.
I don't know if it was wood or
attach A to B. Or B to C. One of them he forgot to connect.
Man, we're not laughing at you. We're just...
No,
So if she called, then maybe you guys already took care of it.
Could have.
It sounded like she wanted you guys to come out and do it while he was out. Have you ever had that before? The circumstance where...
We've had a few projects like that where the wife wants to do something for the husband as far as a surprise type thing. And
can you fix it without him knowing you fixed it?
But, never really anything fixing. More like, fixing it up, dressing it up or something. Well, and
that's an important thing to mention too. A lot of people may not realize that you're in business to do that as well.
Right, we do. Hey, Joe, you're looking good. Joe Martone standing outside the window drinking his coffee.
You got a little camera shot of it.
There you go, camera shot. Scary.
You are now in the damage control video.
Yeah, there you go. Thumbs up. So. We do, home additions, remodeling, new construction, so all sorts of those type things as well, in addition to the disasters that we take care of. So
in the last week when Mike was here, he mentioned something that's probably going to stay with me the rest of my life. He said when you use... And was it antiseptic or something to clean the germs, like a Lysol product or something?
Right, a cleaning product.
It's got to sit there 10 minutes.
Well, it depends on what it is, but typically if you read the label of a product, a cleaning agent, the back will tell you how long it needs to sit there in order for you to achieve the 99%.
And that's what it says, 99% of the germs.
Right.
I always thought if I did it a second time, would it be 99% of the other 1%? So there, I've really eliminated the possibility of getting sick.
I guess if you left it sit the other another 10 minutes or so, yeah. Or just let the first one sit 20 minutes, and you did, Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
And just to recap, because that was a pretty interesting conversation last week, you guys have at your disposal a fogging device that fogs a room with hydrogen peroxide.
Right. It's a concentrated mix of hydrogen peroxide, so a lot more potent than what you buy over the counter, and this kills all types of bacterias and infectious diseases. Type thing. So
and that sounds like a really good idea. And I was reading an article, this is a while ago, that in hospitals they typically clean the surfaces of their countertops, etc., with hydrogen peroxide, simply because it's not as noxious, is that the word, as bleach?
Well, it doesn't have the odor residue as bleach, so probably noxious would be a good word for that.
So the bleach would do the trick, but
right. But typically, as with any type of cleaning, you've got to make sure that you cover every every square inch of a surface. I'm sure you know, even at home, and you know, I watch waitresses sometimes wiping off tables, and
I've done that.
you know,
it's kind of a hobby of mine.
They're wiping the table as you're sitting, getting ready to sit down, and they're, you know, it's kind of a zigzag pattern, and you know, when they're done, it looks like Zorro was there, you know, but they didn't cover the whole
Didn't
table.
get everything, right.
You know, and basically that's the same, you know, with cleaning any type of surface. If you don't get all of it, every nook and cranny, every spot,
Right.
you know, you're not cleaning it. You know, you're just wiping, you know, going around it.
Do you know where this comes to mind? When you go to the grocery store and you use a shopping cart,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know what that other person had on his or her hands holding that thing.
Well, anywhere we go.
Yeah.
Gas station, door handles.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that one is, I mean, it's really a community thing.
Well, I mean,
Are we too paranoid about
germophobic?
that? Yeah, germophobic, paranoid.
Well, I mean, that's why the big craze with, you know, the hand sanitizer and using that, and
Right.
you know, a lot of women keep it in their purse, and it's a great thing. You know, it's very good to do it. Just don't want to make sure you don't lick your fingers after you use it, though. It's not good for you.
All right.
High alcohol concentrate.
So getting back to the lady who still has wind coming in through the corner of her kitchen is what it sounds like. What
Sounds like what?
it sounds like she's standing there cooking and she's getting a breeze. I was trying to imagine what it was. It must be a hole somewhere. Or
Well,
coming through
something might not be sealed up completely.
maybe over the top, you think?
Could be coming in from the overhang. That's a possibility. I mean, without knowing what it looks like, you know, it's hard to say.
Yeah, so I was hoping she called you so you could talk
Could
about
be,
it.
you know, maybe a window isn't sealed properly and it's coming in alongside the window.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is her. This is a phone call coming in for you. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Yeah, hey, enjoy your program.
Thank you.
Talk about shopping carts. The Winn-Dixie that I go to, right where you go inside and pick up your cart, there's a little station there that's
Yes.
some little handy wipe or something to do the handles.
Most of that's
I don't realize that.
Yeah, that's just something that most of the stores now, you know, have started putting in effect, is having a wiping station there where you can get a hand wipe and wipe down the
Yeah, that's a good idea.
disposable wipe, and you know,
I'll
it's,
hang up and listen.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. You know, and that's something that's, you know, very smart for people to do. I mean, you have people coming and going, and you know, they've touched all kinds of things, and you've touched all kinds of things, and
Yeah, yeah.
and you've got kids playing in those carts and stuff as, you know, mom's shopping. So, you know, there's all kinds of stuff on them.
I'm sure you've seen people who've taken like airplane fuselages and made them into homes, or old bomb shelters and made them into homes. Have you ever worked on any of them?
No.
Something that was designed for something else, and people decide to make it a home.
Well, I've got a lady that talked to me. She wanted to make a 20 by 20 storage shed into a little apartment type thing for like a mother-in-law type thing. That's what she wanted to do with that. So,
all right, Joe just handed me some questions here.
oh, here we go. This is going to be good.
When you have a roof fire and
Okay.
the rafters are charred, you replace them, but do you also replace the water damaged ones?
Well, water damage, when there's a fire and there's water damage, typically that can be dried out. So you don't really have to worry about that, as long as it's not sitting in the water and for an extended period of time. However, if there's a fire, everything that is charred has to be removed. If you don't get rid of the charred wood, the burnt wood, you're not going to be able to get rid of the odor.
Okay.
You know, that's where the smoke smell continues to come
Right.
from. However, you'll have smoke damage on everything. Typically in a roof fire or even just a house fire, once that smoke gets into the attic area, it'll cover everything. So once there's smoke damage on an area, you'll need to paint. They do a paint in order to encapsulate the smoke odor and make it all look the exact same. So it cleans it and, you know, encapsulates that odor. So you'll have new trusses, and, you know, wherever everything's burnt, and then everything will get painted And typically, so that people don't wonder, why is some of it painted and why is some of it brand new, everything will get painted, even the brand new trusses, just so it all looks the exact same.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yep.
The second question is, does the insulation also have to be replaced?
Insulation will, that will need replaced just because of the smoke odor. Even if it was in an area that was not affected by the fire or the water putting the fire out, you'll still need to replace, more than likely, I'm going to say 95% of the time, all of the insulation just because of the odor. So one thing about, smoke is something that's extremely, it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
I guess, it's
yeah.
It gets in everything. It goes everywhere, and you can't get rid of it. I had a jacket that a friend of mine, as they were growing up, they had a fire in their house and it had smoke smell on it. And I remember, as long as I had that jacket, I could smell it.
Always smelled it. Wow,
Yeah.
really?
There are things that get rid of it nowadays.
Right.
But standard dry cleaning just doesn't get rid of it. There are companies out there that specialize in doing that, and we work with them. And once there's a fire or a mold issue or something like that, we'll have this company. It's CRDN is who we work with. I call Amy. Amy comes in and she'll take care of everything. From inventorying everything that is a textile. Your curtains, your sheets, your comforters, leathers, anything that is textile, she can take it. They inventory it and take it to their factory in Jacksonville, dry clean it. Restoration dry cleaning is basically what they're doing, and get rid of the odor or get rid of the mold or anything that's in it. One thing that I really enjoy working with this company, the reason why is they do 2 different orders. One of them is going to be a rush order. So, here we've got this homeowner who has a fire. Everything that they own now smells like smoke if it didn't get, completely destroyed. So they'll go through their belongings, their clothes, and pick out, enough for a couple weeks of clothes, and they put that in a rush order.
Oh,
so
okay,
they'll get that order back within a couple days, and then the rest of it they'll keep on site on their location until the house is done, and they bring it all back for them.
Oh, wow. So does it contaminate even after the fact? Like if the rush order is worn and then hung up with the other clothing?
Well, the rush order would be clean. Everything would be cleaned.
Okay.
They take it all away. They're gonna, typically, what I'm saying is, if you had a fire in your home, you're gonna be displaced. So you're gonna be put in a hotel, or you're gonna be put in, you're gonna be staying at. Sometimes people stay with their family or friends. So they do a rush order, and within a couple days, you get a bunch of your clothes back. So they'll be cleaned and ready for you to wear.
Right.
And then when your house is ready, or you're in a new place where you can get the rest of your clothes, they bring it back to you, and it's all clean. So,
do you want to know how I can relate to the smoke lingering testimony? I guess you just talked about with your jacket. When I was much younger, I played guitar in bars.
Right.
And there was lots of smoke in bars at that time. I haven't been in bars in a long time, so I don't know if they still smoke a lot. But anyway, I would, and I didn't smoke back then. I did take up cigar smoking later on, but back then I didn't. So anyway, I would have my guitar case and the microphone, the windscreen, this thing here, and
the styrofoam thing.
Yeah, and I would go, let's say, for a while without playing a bar or whatever, and that every time I'd open the guitar case, it would still smell like cigarettes, and every time I would use the windscreen on a microphone, I could still smell the bar. And P.S., not just the smoke, but also the beer, and I didn't drink, and nobody else was near my microphone. Isn't that strange? The smell of beer actually permeated the windscreen.
I don't know about the beer smell, but I do know that that cigarette smoke gets everywhere, and
it's crazy.
Yeah,
and you don't.
And that's that's the same with a house fire. I mean, if you have a fire in a house,
probably worse.
That smoke goes everywhere. Yeah, it is a different smell than cigarette smoke for sure, but.
And old smoke is not as good as good smoke. Do you agree?
Or new smoke? Old smoke is not as good as new smoke?
That's what I should have said.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not as good as good smoke. You're right.
But you know, when somebody's smoking a pipe, sometimes the smell's actually good.
There are certain tobaccos that smell okay.
But after
smell better than others.
But if it's in your clothing, it doesn't smell good, like next day or whatever.
No, not so much.
Well, that is one of the big damage things that you fix, though, is things that have been damaged by smoke, which is not visible, not visual.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, odors are something that we deal with. Not a lot, because odors are a tough thing to get rid of, and a lot of times you'll have a person buying a home and they have like cigarette smoke odor
from a previous owner,
right? And they'll say they've done everything to get rid of it. That smoke, that odor, and sometimes it's other odors as well. Those odors penetrate through the paint, through the walls into the drywall, and it just becomes part of the structure. So a lot of times you'll have to use a paint in order to encapsulate that. Even better, like a Kills product.
I have an insurance question. If I'm a landlord, let's say I own a place, okay, and I have to find a new tenant, and I go to inspect the place that's been cleaned out by the old tenant, and nothing's been damaged in the normal sense, but you can definitely sense that this house had smokers in it. Mm-hmm. So now I have damage, not visible, but it's damaged. I can't rent it right now. So because it's damaged, does an insurance policy pay for that?
Not for cigarette odor.
Not for that, huh?
No.
Is that an expensive thing to take care of?
Well, there again, it depends how bad it is. For example. So it really depends, to the extent of how bad the odor is. Sometimes there's things that can be done rather easily in order to get rid of an odor. Sometimes it's been
so it could be
saturated. Yeah, a lot of times people there's a lot of things that can be done. One of them, like the things that anything porous sucks up that odor. Like your carpet,
right.
Your padding in the carpet. These are things that take up. They hold that odor. So if you had an area where, like you're putting in new flooring, once you get rid of that carpet, you're probably going to, get rid of quite a bit.
Be happy with the result.
Yeah, you're going to get rid of quite a bit of the odor. Yeah. New paint. It's amazing what new paint will do.
Are you, in working with people's renovations, are you finding people getting rid of carpets and opting for the wood floor more?
There seems to be more of a trend for, the laminate floors. One thing that we've seen a lot of here recently is the people going with more like a tile that looks like wood.
Okay.
A lot of people are liking the wood, and that's, kind of funny because years back, I was even working in a house last week, 2 weeks ago, and, they've got beautiful hardwood floors. When they bought the house, it had carpet. Yeah. And I know lots of homes, older homes, people buy them and they have got carpet, and they go to change the carpet and they got these beautiful hardwood floors under them. Right.
Saying the time.
There's all kinds of trends that, things, people get tired of the hardwood and they put carpet over it, or, they want tile and then they, decide they want something else. So there's all kinds of different flooring trends that are happening.
Right, so would somebody call, let's say, because here's a scenario. I remember when I was a younger man, I had a friend up in New York. He got married. They moved into a house. The wife said, this wallpaper has to go. So he asked me if I would help him. And I said, sure. I never knew what I was getting myself into. That is a terrible job, removing old wallpaper.
Right.
So if we had known about you, of course you weren't even born yet, I don't think. I don't know. You seem pretty young. I know you're not. You're older than you look, right? That's what Joey's telling me.
No, I feel I'm younger than I look.
Oh, you're younger than you look.
Yeah, and I look pretty young.
Okay, you're younger than you look. Okay. Well, let's say I'm going to buy 38. Okay. Yeah, so you were just a baby. So let's say I go into this house and I want to get this wallpaper taken off. I want the carpet taken up. There's no real damage, but again, can I call you guys to help me with that?
Yeah, we work with homeowners doing that kind of thing all the time. But here again, Larry, wallpaper is another one of those trends that are coming back. It is.
Well, not the floral print that I remember seeing at this house.
And that's where, the modern wallpapers look, really good. They're beautiful.
And sometimes people use just like 6 inches at the top, right?
They use borders along the top. They sometimes do that.
Yeah.
That's what they call that, just an accent strip. But
that's not a bad look. I like that look.
Well, it depends what it is, really.
Yeah, I guess.
But now
not evil clowns.
Nowadays, evil clowns. Nowadays, the trend is more for wallpaper. It's coming back.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
See, I'm always behind the times with everything. I still have shag carpeting.
Well, it's not something that I like so much. Shag carpet is in that category as well. But wallpaper is not a favorite of mine. But I mean, in certain occasions, certain looks, it does look pretty nice in certain areas.
Wood paneling, you put it up, take it down. What's the status of that these days? That's out, right?
Well, it is out. However, if you go to any type of supply house, you can buy wood paneling. So really, it depends on where you're doing, what you're doing, where you're going with it. And,
what looks worse?
What you're doing.
What looks worse to me than wood paneling? Hey, Hugh, how you doing up there?
Good morning, Hugh. Thank you.
Do you know what looks worse?
Got a thumbs up.
Is painted wood paneling. Like I'm tired of this wood paneling. I'm going to paint it white.
Right.
It just doesn't look great.
And they have those strips in it.
Right. And you get the little lines from where it was supposed to look like real wood.
Right. It's one of those things where, all types of things have their application. They've got paneling out there that looks like a 3-inch tongue and groove that people use for a wainscoting, which is they'll put a chair rail, which usually is about 3 feet off the floor or 4 feet off the floor, and then below that they'll put this paneling, and it looks really good. It adds a nice bit of character to a house. It's kind of an older look, more of a rustic look, but that's something a lot of people do. So
can I make a prediction? A prediction,
Sure.
Educated prediction for you.
Okay.
For your business. For
Is
your
this something I should invest in?
For your line of work. No. The newspaper was talking about the soggy lawns and things like that, and there was another article saying to expect more termites now because of whatever happened during the winter.
Because of a lot of rain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever it was, it's like soggy or whatever, the ground. So I'm guessing a lot of people will just not put the 2 and 2 together, and all of a sudden 5 or 6 months from now you're going to get a call from people who didn't get the termite treatment,
right?
And they're going to say, I need help because I just have this huge area that's about to fall down because it's been eaten away by termites.
I just got a call yesterday on a project for termite damage. So
you did?
Yeah.
How quick can termites work? Real quick?
It doesn't take long for termites, but typically it's after months and months of them being there and you don't even really know they're there.
Well, that's the thing. If the report is true and we have more termites here, and this is local story.
Right.
If we have more termites, then and it wasn't an ad in disguise for a termite control guy.
Well, that's something. I just got back this weekend. I was in Chicago, and they've got more snow there than they've had ever. They've got. The one guy I was talking to, he said on the news they've got more snow at this point in the year than they have the last 2 years combined already.
Wow.
So, and there's still quite a bit of time left in this winter, as far as where they're at. So, he was talking about how it will result in, as the snow's melting, they'll have a lot more flooding and things like that. And, that just makes it harder for farmers to get their crops in because there's the fields are going to be wet.
Right.
You'll have just a lot more problems. Same with us here. We've gotten more rain this winter.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about the soggy lawns. So if we continue to get that rain, the ground is already wetter than what it has been. We get more rain in the spring. We get a few of those spring winds, and you end up with more trees coming down. So you'll have trees on homes, trees on buildings.
That's right.
More termite damage, things like that. So, We get calls all the time. There's a project that we're currently working on where the elevation of the ground, the landscaping, the mulch was built up on the house, and it had moisture damage come inside and cause a moldy, musty smell because of it rotted out the inside. So, that's one of those things where, you've got to make sure the grade of your home, the elevation is clear so that you don't have water going against the building. Make sure it's running away from the building.
Right.
Don't let the mulch get piled up too high. Shrubbery and bushes are beautiful, but once they're so close to the building and there's no room, you get a higher percentage of, damage can happen.
Yeah. Well, I hope my prediction is wrong. I hope just by making the prediction,
the world would be a better place without termites. It really would be.
Yeah, and maybe my prediction is just a way of saying, hey,
termites in houses. Termites are good for,
fishing,
chewing wood up and dead wood, but not house wood.
Well, that's true. They have a purpose, right?
They do. Everything has a purpose.
So do you think? And this is probably a termite expert's question, but do you think if you had a pile of wood, like 100 yards from the house, that they would go there instead of in your house?
They could. It really depends on where it's at and what they're doing, but it really a lot depends on where they're at. But they will get into a pile of wood outside the house for sure.
Well, whether you're looking to renovate or repair, call Joe Reichel, and he will make sure that he sends some guys over there that know how to do it, including yourself. I saw a photo of you on a roof.
Yeah.
Was it this week?
That was last week.
Week. How do we get a hold of you?
You can reach me directly at 352-817-6574 or at joe@damageflorida.com.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Fun.
Thank you.
As always. And
thank you, Larry.
Let's hope we don't have any termites. All right, we'll take a little break. And, the lady who played Thelma on Good Times is coming on next. Can you believe it?
Thelma.
Our celebrity, yeah, Thelma.
Nice.
1970 WOCA.
ABC News Now. I'm Karen Chase. Atlanta area officials are scrambling to be snow ready as a system described as potentially catastrophic approaches. It could pack icy conditions similar to the ones that paralyzed the region 2 weeks ago. A nor'easter heading for New England is described as crippling. At the Olympics, spoiler alert, American freestyler Devin Logan could hardly contain her glee when she won a silver medal in the ski slopestyle event. Shaun White has begun going for the gold. Former Arizona Congresswoman Gabby Giffords is writing a book about gun control called Enough, Our Fight to Keep America Safe from Gun Violence. It's based on an essay she wrote for the New York in response to the Connecticut school shooting. Before Shirley Temple shot some of her iconic movie scenes, her mother would tell her, "Sparkle, Shirley, sparkle." She did. The former child star actor died at her home in